All right, this is recording 2. It was in English when it was selected as Japanese, but whatever. So I'll just I read the manga already. We're gonna play it again. Show the subtitles very little. Watch with me. I'm gonna start the timer for 1 second, and then now I'm gonna start the thing. It'll give me enough time to start the timer. Episode 1. Let's try this again. I'm gonna play it. Hopefully it's in Japanese. I'm watching it in Japanese. I already read the manga. English subtitles, because that's how I liked the whole series in Japanese. I haven't watched it in English. Here we go. Play. Okay, now it's synced pretty much. 3 seconds. Hopefully it's in Japanese. This is take 2. Hopefully it's the last one. Please. That would be terrible if the recording broke at the last minute. What am I supposed to do then? Okay, it's in Japanese, but there's no subtitles. Why? Why? Oh, October 28th, 2011. Okay, there's subtitles. It's always raining. It's always raining. Hey, who's that? That's like a character. Okay, never mind. In case you haven't seen it. I'm not gonna. What the heck? Wait, what? Right. She's already in prison. She's depressed. She's so depressed. Eto. The M word. Murder. No way. I'm just gonna pretend. I've never seen this. What? What? Wait, what? Hold on a second. The first minute. The first minute in, we get that masturbation scene that everyone was worried about. Well, these like teenagers, bro. That's not a big deal when you're older. Like, who cares? Just whip it out whenever in game. What? What am I watching here? That's the wrong anime. What episode is this? Wait, no, this has to be the first one. I don't remember this being so soon. Why she looks so good here. Articulate. That's when she became a feminist. No, it's not. It's a joke. BDSM or something. Right after No Not November. How do you prove? You gotta just be honorable. What? Ring finger. Oh, she's smart. She's like Joseph Joestar a little. She notices the small details. Or maybe she's just smart. Nishu Niban. Put your hands up. In jail. No. She's just pretending. Japanese American? I think she is. You're an interesting one. I'm innocent. Oh, that's what they all say. That's what they all say. What a fool. Oh yeah, I'm wearing my JoJo shirt for this. I forgot to say. Better than a suit, I think. Nah, maybe not. Look at this guy. Yo, this guy looks like the Part 4 outer space guy. Bro. What's up with that? They probably are the source of the meteorite. Oh. Only my mom's. Bought a bike. What? That's her lawyer? The Riddler, dude? What? Vogue magazine. Shout out. Can they use Vogue magazine in an anime like that? I guess they just did. With like a partner deal. That's a charm. Uh-oh. What? Oh my god. That's pretty sudden. Why didn't the mom get stung like that? Like if she held it. Oh, it was sticking out just now. Daddy issues. Oh, that's part 4. Or it looks like part 4. He's in Africa. He's in Africa. What's going on there? What's going on in Africa? Well, what? Orda? How soon do you get a stand? Okay, now I'm remembering a little more. The pacing. That's a shaky truck. Who's that in the right? I won't go. Oh, I think that audio needed more echo. It just died out. This is the intro to... Okay. What? What'd they say? It's gonna be hard to keep up if I can't read. You gotta learn to, like, look at everything at once. Hermes Costello. What? Armies. Bro, watch it in Japanese, though. I feel terrible about this. I feel like I should watch it in English, but nah, bro. Not this time. No. How could I do that? I mean, it doesn't matter, I guess. Or does. 700 males. But what are they? Are they male or female? What the heck? They have no gender? Does that include the kids? Wait, under 18. Benjamins. And she looks like she's from Egypt. Huh. I can't believe it's been 3 years. Almost. Since JoJo Part 5 ended. No way. Anyway. Confirmed? Are they silicone? Damn. Why not put a whole 100? All that just for fit $20? Bruh. That guy has no eyeballs. Who's that guy? He's the new protagonist. The cop. Aramis. So it begins. Shout out. What was that? Standability? Kicking in? Oh. Oh, that's why the audio was weird or something. I forgot about this, so that's cool. Just erase your memories from the manga, and it's good. Oh, no. I thought she should take it out of her boob. Oh, no. Is that Joseph? Breaky! Let me have the... Oh, no. Oh. Green hair. Oh, no. That's all leading up. The lead up. Yo, look at the eye shot, though. That's a great eye shot. What? How'd she control it already? His ear fell off. Wait, does he see the blood floating? What's going on there? The whole ear. Is that Mario? It's autopilot. What? It's an evil spirit. He's the old man now. Gigi. November 8th. So it's been a couple days. Almost a month. Wait, what? The driver's seat. October 28th. Wait, what? I thought it was October 11th when she went to jail. Or maybe that was a year ago. I don't know. Dude, she looks so much younger here. Or is that makeup? She's so innocent here. What happened? Let's see. Oh no. She's so innocent. I'm thirsty too, actually. Oh no. Yeah, just say that. Just say that's what happened. I mean, that's the truth. Glasses went through the windshield. Oh, he hit someone. Who is that guy? Hold up, where's her pants? No, dude. Hey, why? Did I miss something here? It is 3 a.m. Okay, that sucks. Betrayal. His fingerprint should be on the steering wheel. What? Why can't you tell him? What? Why didn't she tell him about who was driving what? Why didn't she tell him that he was driving? What? Does she love him that much, or what? What's going on there? That's the truth. Whatever. What? What? I hate when this happens in shows. What? Okay, so looks like it's part 7 now. See, he must be working with someone. So even if she told him that he was driving, it wouldn't have mattered. Or I hope he's a bad guy, because that would make more sense than her not telling him who was driving. This is a sick show, man. How can you lock up such an innocent person? Okay, good. Okay, it was all set up. It was all set up. Bruh. Okay. She's listening. Oh. What's happening? Her stand. Oh. Her strings aren't strong enough. That sucks. What if they were? That'd be awesome. Oh, they should have had like mascara running or something. But I guess she wasn't crying after. She wasn't crying. Oh god, I remember this. Yo, look at that guy. It's Polnareff. It's Polnareff's stand. F3. F3 40536. All right. Let's see what they show us here. Look at that, those pants though. Look at those pants. Is that Angelica's Cynthia? Yo, I saw. Okay. Oh my god, dude. I don't remember. I do remember this a little. Wow, dude. People are going crazy right now over that. Honestly, they don't even need to make anything for that. It's all there. Who the hell is this guy? How does he look like that? What? Bruh. What is that? That's like a Dragon Ball character. That looks like Monanka. Manuka. He's faking it. When did she have time for that? How did she know he was going to talk to him? I'm like movie sins. I'm just pointing out every single thing that could be a problem. What? How's that? How'd she know he was sweating? How did she know? Was that her stand? Dude, he could use that as evidence to like put more years on her. Probably. First love, final love, honestly, after that. Way to pick him. What? That's a long range stand right there. What? That note's evidence, dude. Is he alive? The charm. She's piecing it together after a month in there. I don't know how long it's been. Oh, that's the first episode already. Damn. I gotta. All right, next video. I want to watch all of them right now. Honestly, that was fast. All right. Next video, guys. Wait, what? How's the timer under 24:28? That's weird. I was lied to. That's impossible. Alright, part 2. I have to watch the second one after that one. In another video, though. Just to see if this recording even works.